Have you ever been in a situation that just felt, off, kind of sketchy? Well, today we are breaking down the art of getting out of those moments. This isn't about fighting, not at all. It's about mastering the skill of just disappearing, making sure you get home safe. Let's dive in.
We have all seen that movie scene, right? The hero gets cornered, says some super clever comeback, and then, bam, a perfect knockout punch. And yeah, it looks awesome, but it's completely fake. In the real world, the goal isn't to win some fight. The mission is way simpler and honestly, 1,000,000 times more important. Get home safe. That's it. That's the win.
So, let's get into the main idea here. We're talking about the breakout, not the knockout. And the very first step is realizing that the biggest thing standing in the way of your safety, it's usually not the other person. It's your own ego.
And that brings us to something called the hero trap. It's this idea we all have in our heads that if you walk away, it means you're weak or you're scared. But that's the trap. Choosing to get yourself out of a dangerous spot isn't weakness. It's actually the smartest, most powerful thing you can do.
I mean, when you stop and think about it, the math here is ridiculously simple. If you stay and fight, what's going to happen? Okay, option one, you get hurt. And you never know, right? They could have a weapon, their friends could jump in. Bad news. Option two, you get in trouble. We're talking suspension, maybe even legal problems. Or there's option three, you just walk away, go home, and play some video games. So 2 out of 3 of those outcomes are just awful. The choice is pretty clear, isn't it?
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Picture any defensive move you make, like a loud shout, a firm no, or even just a quick shove to make some space. Think of it like a smoke puff in a video game. You don't use a smoke bomb to beat the boss, right? No, you use it to cause confusion so you can get away. Your whole goal is to create an exit, not to start a fight.
Okay, so how do you actually create that opening to escape? Well, it all comes down to one core tactic, the 3-second rule. This is your secret weapon. It's like a built-in head start that actually uses a little flaw in human biology to give you an advantage.
And that flaw? It's called processing lag. It's basically a temporary glitch in the human brain. When you do something totally sudden and unexpected, the other person's brain just shorts out for a second. It can't immediately figure out what's happening. And that little stutter, that's your window.
So let's break down what's happening inside their head, second by second. The first second is just pure shock. Their nervous system is just trying to catch up. The second, that's confusion. Their brain's going, wait, did that just happen? What was that? And by the third second, their brain starts to reset, and it switches from being surprised to being angry and wanting to retaliate. That whole 3-second span, that's your entire window of opportunity.
So what's your mission during that 3-second glitch? It's super simple, super concrete. Cover 20 feet. That's it. That's about the length of a big car. It's the distance you need to put between you and the threat to make yourself a much, much harder target to chase.
And this is the most important part, okay? This is the golden rule of the breakout. If you are still standing in the same spot by second 4, you failed the mission. You're not breaking out anymore. You are now officially in a fight. And that is exactly what we are trying to avoid.
Okay, so you did it. You made your move, you used that 3-second window, and you are on the move. Awesome. But just running in a straight line isn't enough. Now we get to the fun part, the art of evasion, how to literally ghost somebody in real life. The key word here is friction. And no, I'm not talking about science class. Friction is anything in your environment that just makes it inconvenient or annoying or just plain hard for someone to follow you. You're going to use the world around you to slow them down. And creating friction is way easier than you think. If you're in a store, don't just run for the front door. Weave through those tight clothing racks. If you're on the street, put a parked car or a bus stop shelter between you and them. Every single time you make them go around something or turn a corner to see you, you gain another precious second. Now here's a pretty cool technique for when it's dark out. It's called the dark shift. See, our eyes take time to adjust to light. So what you do is you move from a bright area, like under a streetlight, into a really dark space. For just a moment, whoever is following you is pretty much blind, and you use that moment to immediately change direction. They'll just assume you kept running straight, but you'll already be gone. These same ideas work even when the threat isn't physical. Sometimes the danger is just feeling trapped in a conversation with someone who's making all your internal alarm bells go off. Getting out of that requires what we call a social strike. So let me ask you, when you're in one of those creepy, uncomfortable conversations, what do you think is your single biggest enemy? What's holding you there?
Believe it or not, the answer is politeness.
That's right. Since we were little kids, we're taught not to be rude, to answer people, to smile. And guess what? People who want to cause trouble or test your boundaries, they count on that. They literally use your own politeness against you to keep you stuck there.
So how do you cut that cord? Just look at the difference here. The phrase on the left is so weak, it's basically a question. Okay? It invites them to argue to convince you to stay. But the one on the right? That's a firm statement. I have to find my ride, goodbye. It's not a negotiation. And here's the absolute key. You say it as you are already turning and walking away. You do not wait for permission.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground here. So let's pull it all together into one simple, final breakout checklist. These are the absolute key things you need to remember to get yourself home safe.
First up, always check your ego. Ask yourself, is trying to look tough really worth getting hurt? Second, exploit that processing lag. Their brain's 3-second glitch is your head start, so use it to move. Third, break their line of sight. Use corners, use crowds, use shadows. Become impossible to track. And last but definitely not least, kill the politeness. If a situation or a person feels wrong, you don't owe them anything. Just walk away.
Because at the end of the day, this whole thing is about changing your mindset. You're not a potential target just waiting for something bad to happen. You're a ghost. You're the person who sees trouble coming and is gone before it even knows you were there.